All right. How are we doing today? How's it going? Let's see. All right, let's get this party started. Yeah, that's what I look like. Yay. How's everybody doing? Hello, everybody. How's it going today? Good, 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 good. Today we got a bunch of amazing news. We're going to be talking about the Christmas special coaching thing that one of you talked to me about yesterday, and it was a pretty good idea. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to talk about the Anarchy Crew anthology that will be coming out before Christmas. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about we'll be talking about getting ready for my solo show and what we kind of can learn about ourselves as artists or writers or filmmakers or musicians or whatever your medium is, and how that reflects kind of about you and how you need to do things. The bottom line is deadlines are important. And for a lot of us, we look at the end of the year as a deadline because there are certain things that we all said back in January that we were going to get done this year. And my guess is that 99% of you have not done those things. So we're going to talk about that. And this isn't a shaming thing. This is just basically what happens when we do not give ourselves deadlines, when we do not hold ourselves to any kind of this needs to be done by this time. Because, like I just said, most of us have not done any of the things or very little of the things that we said we were going to do this year. So this live stream is about a year in the making. I don't know, maybe after I'm done with this, I'll go back and link the video or stream I did back in January where we were talking about what we were actually going to get done this year. And 2025 has been an absolute clusterfuck of a year for a lot of us. And I know a lot of us right now feel like we're not doing very well. Like things are hard, things are tough, and they've been hard all year. I know that as much as anybody else does. So let's see here. Who do we have in the room? So when you guys get in here, leave a hey, how's it going? So I know who I'm talking to. But we'll talk about quite a few things. Just crossing my legs here like a normal human person while we talk about these things. Caitlin, hello. Now, what's the weather like there right now, Caitlin? Because it has been cold as balls here, but this week it's going to get back up into the 70s, which I'm very much looking forward to. I have shorts on for the first day in probably 2 or 3 weeks. I've been wearing jeans, and that's weird. I don't like wearing pants. Someone's going to clip that. God damn it. Okay. Anyway. Sindra, can you hear me? Okay. Matt to Sindra, can you hear me? Am I coming in? But what we need to know what we all 29, fuck me, dude. Yeah, no, thank you. That is too cold for this warm-blooded creature. Um, what we need to understand, no matter what medium you guys make stuff in, okay? There is a saying that goes, your art is never done, it's never finished, it's only abandoned. And that's okay. All right. So many of us, like I swear, like every single person I talk to, they're constantly not sure if something they're working on is done. And instead of like just trusting themselves and trusting the process, they, and instead of going into the next thing that you could be making, you agonize over making the thing you had done before better. Now, this could be anywhere from adding like more color to a painting you're working on, to like adding more lines to a poem you've written, to going, you know what, this story isn't good, it needs backstory. People need to understand like more about these characters before I just drop them into this world. And pretty soon, especially when you're writing a book or writing a story, you end up like you have the book and it starts off great, but then you're like, wait, no, I need to do a chapter before this now. I need to add a little bit more because, people aren't going to understand. And, da, 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 da. And we do all of this stuff where we overthink and overthink and overthink and overthink to the point where we automatically assume that we're smarter than the people who are going to be ingesting our art. And that really isn't how any art should be looked at. Like, we create things to be in the moment. And whether it's a poem, a short story, a novel, a painting, whatever it is you're making, that thing is a snapshot in time. Now, can you do like what Walt Whitman did? That was a hard thing to say. And rewrite the same poem for 50 fucking years or however long he worked on Leaves of Grass and how many revisions and all these other things that he did. Sure, if you want to do that, go ahead. But when you do things like that, you are really selling yourself short, especially if you want to do this for a career, if you want to do this for a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to continually make things and you need to continually make new things, because the more things you make, the more things you are able to sell. And I don't mean to turn this into a capitalistic conversation, but even for your legacy, even if you're not doing this for money, okay? Like, you have to continue to make new things. You have to continue to push yourself into the new thing. Because one of the greatest things about being able to look back over a body of work that you've done is to be able to see where you've come from and how you've grown. And a lot of people who follow like different artists of any type, they enjoy, like the true fans, the true collectors of someone's work, love to see the progression of how somebody grew and how somebody matured. Okay. But when all you do is rework the same thing you've been doing before you put it out, or in Walt Whitman's case, put it out, sell all of those copies, and then go, I'm going to rewrite this now, and do that, then you take that away not only from your readers or your listeners or your viewers or whatever, but you're taking it away from yourself because now you can't see the progression. And one of the things that is like crucial to any artist of any kind to be able to grow is to be able to look at each year, these are the things you did, and look at those things and go, oh, I see what I'm doing. I see the progression. I see, and what that also shows you is where you're going to go next, because it's almost like a roadmap and it's going into this direction. And so you go, oh, I can keep doing this and do this even more. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like from a lot of you who I've talked to this year, over doing like mentorship calls and coaching calls and whatever and what have you, is that a lot of you have been reworking the same thing. You haven't put anything out, and you're living in almost like this constant fear that you're not ready or no one's going to care. So I'm going to give a couple examples here of just like the last week of people I've talked to where both people thought that time has kind of passed them by, that they like starting now is too late, and that's just like, I don't want to say bonkers because I don't want to like make anybody feel bad, but there's never a time on like art, okay, whatever it is. So to give you some examples, like think of your favorite painting or your favorite poem or your favorite book. When you think of that, do you look at that Gustav Klimt painting and go, oh man, this is only good because he was 38 when he painted this? Do you read Howl and know how old Allen Ginsberg was when he wrote it? Do you read Breakfast of Champions and go, oh wow, this is only good because Kurt Vonnegut was 50 when he wrote this? We never think about those things. Age completely doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in your creation is the things that you're creating. And then those things have a life. It's never going to be a thing where, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess in some weird way, no, I don't even think that's true. So, oh, Nicky Jam. Hello. So that's one thing. Thinking that time has passed you by and that you're too old to start. Because, and I've talked about this in other videos, people complain to me about their age, whether they are 24 or they are 80. Like there's never an age where someone's like, I am the perfect age to do this thing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. We all worry that we're too old to do something. Okay. But it's a pretend fallacy that is just, it does not exist. Okay. In the grand scheme of things. So that's the first thing. The next thing is people worrying that no one will care about the things they make, the things they create. The reason why this is just kind of absurd is because somebody has already cared. You cared when you made that thing, or else you wouldn't have made that thing. So right off the bat, somebody already cares about it, and it's you. The whole reason why we make anything or do anything, our number one fan that we should be working for is ourself, because our self is the person who, like, we give a shit about. Sorry, the kettle's going and it's getting louder. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Oh, that's good. So beyond that, we need to make sure that when we are looking at our own work, that we have a critical eye to hold ourselves accountable, but that we are a fan of our own work. If you don't like the stuff you're doing, how the fuck can you expect anyone else to care about any of the stuff you're doing? Like, you have to love what you do. And most of us, unless we're complete masochists, we do love the stuff we do, and that's why we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I've ever met a creator of any kind that absolutely hated everything they did, but they just did it anyway as like a torture to themselves. Now, this leads into the next thing about people thinking that no one else will care. If you recall, I only worry there isn't enough time left to complete the project. Okay, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that too. But for the people who think nobody is going to care, especially people in Anarchy Crew, you guys know, because I'm pretty sure every single one of you has had that feeling that you're creating something that no one's going to give a shit about. And then when we share these things and we like do the thing, or like how last week I read Syndra's poem, and then like the next day, like Bunny like commented on the video saying how much that meant to her and how much that moved her for kind of having a similar experience over the last year. So the idea of people not caring about your work, the only way you're going to know if anyone is going to care is to put it out. And at the end of the day, even if like you never hear, because like just being completely honest, there are people who consume my work all the time and I never hear anything about it. I never hear if people are reading it, if people are liking it, if people or whatever. But what I do see is how many streams like Creeperson got, or how many downloads my solo music got, or how many books I sold this month, or whatever. Like, not everyone reaches out to you, but when you see that people are consuming your stuff, you have to assume that people wouldn't be doing that unless they liked it, you know. But the only way you will ever even know that is if you trust that your stuff is good enough to put out there. And your stuff won't be for everybody. Not everyone's going to like the stuff you put out, but there are going to be people who completely like latch on and attach themselves to that and feel like you're speaking directly to them. And that's really, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters as far as an audience goes, because that grows over time. You see what I'm saying? About caring, thank you to Bunny for expressing your caring about what I wrote. Yeah, and it was a great poem. It was a great poem. The thing about not thinking you have enough time left, the only way to kind of put a pin in that is to impose deadlines on yourself. And imposing deadlines on yourself is really hard because we all can come up with a million excuses as to why something didn't get done when we needed it to get done. Oh, well, you know, like, this week's just been crazy. So like, there's no way I'm going to do that. So I'll just put it off. But then what happens with a lot of us when we do stuff like that, instead of just saying, oh, this week was crazy, I wasn't able to get anything done, and restructure the deadline, it turns into, oh, this week was crazy, I'm a failure, I completely screwed this up, I can't do this. And it just turns into all this like kind of self-hate. You know what I'm saying? So the only way that you're going to be able to finish a project or do anything, this is the thing that no one wants to hear, you have to actually do it. And doing the thing I know is super hard, especially when you feel like the project is much too big and you look at how much time you actually have, that spare time that you could work on it. And when you start doing the math on it, it's daunting. Okay. So, the only thing I can say about that is to try to make that big project into a bunch of tiny projects. And you don't have to do all of it. Just do a little bit at a time. Because even if you just get one thing done every day, Nikki, I'm not calling you out. I am very sorry. Like, I'm calling all of us out, because if you listen from the beginning of this, the whole this live stream, this video here, this conversation was a year in the making. Okay, back in January, we did a stream or a video where we talked about the things that we wanted to get done this year. It is now almost the end of the year, and I'm betting that almost all of you have not done those things that you wanted done. So instead of like beating ourselves up over it, we need to figure out ways to structure either the rest of the year or at least a realistic chain of events over the next couple months to finish those things. So when we look at a huge looming project, okay, we need to just turn it into a bunch of bite-sized pieces, okay? Because, like, I mean, you guys know me. Like, I talk to you guys about fuck everything that I do. I absolutely, definitely, entirely did not achieve that thing. No, and that's cool. But you did. I remember a few times this year that you told me that you got X amount of words done, or you got a chapter done, or like you were talking about how you started a paint night, you know? Like, you did get things done. You did do things. And another thing that a lot of people don't understand, with any kind of art, really, a lot of creating art is sitting around and doing absolutely nothing for hours, because we need to work things out and we need to build up the stuff inside of us to where we can do that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always excuses for it, but what was that saying? Um, oh, what was it? It was something like, if you're working on a painting, for instance, and you want to like have a good hour of painting where you're really in it and you're working on the picture and you're doing the thing, for every hour that you want to get done actually painting, you need 4 hours of just sitting with the canvas and sitting with the materials and kind of like meditating on it and figuring out what the fuck you're going to do, you know? And I'm way more of a fan of just starting to like throw paint down and stuff and then see where it goes and then use that to turn into the hour of good painting, you know? But we need that time to be alone with ourselves, especially in this climate, because we are so just fucking bogged down by every single distraction there is. You know, can you imagine, like, I don't know what, fuck, what Rembrandt would have got done if he could scroll on Twitter all day or fucking binge Sex in the City or whatever the fuck, you know? Like, a lot of stuff would not have gotten done. You know what I'm saying? But we need to quiet ourselves. We need to like cut everything off. And like you guys know from me just being on here, like there are times, and I do need to get more structured with this because I'm starting to understand what like my role is in your creative life. And a lot of times I take that for granted because I'm like, well, I need to create, I need to do things, I need to do this. And I'll put a lot of this stuff off. So I understand that I, like next year, structure with YouTube is going to be a huge priority for me because it, and we'll come back to what I was talking about in a moment, but like, I need to, well, I'll hit this first. I need to unplug from a lot of stuff to be able to do anything. So there are times when I'll be posting every day or I'll be posting 5 times a week. But then there'll be like out of that month, like a week where like I don't do shit. I'm not online. I don't fucking answer emails. I don't do anything. I'm just completely off because I need that to like work on what it is I'm working on. So, with all of this said, I'm going to throw this out here now and we'll come back to it. I was talking with one of you and we were talking about doing kind of like a Christmas coaching, like a year end coaching kind of thing. So, I am going to do a coaching thing for you guys if you want to do it, which would be probably 3 sessions, like whenever you guys want to book the sessions or whatever. But something where like I will work with you individually on the thing you're working on. And more than anything, structure time for you to finish the thing and kind of be your cheerleader, pushing you through the thing. And in the past, when I've done things like this, it was a much longer process because it's not just talking about your art or your writing or whatever. It's talking about why you're doing those things, how to like hone your strengths, and then what the hell you're going to do with it once you're done with it. And basically how to take your area that you live in and most, what's the word I'm looking for here? Use where you live and what you're able to grab onto to help launch the stuff that you're doing. Okay. But because this seems more like a, I don't want to say like it's drastic or an emergency for everybody, but I understand what it's like to feel like things have gotten done and you've done things. But I also know the importance of knowing when something's done and then building what's going to happen next. And I feel like one of the biggest depressions creatives go into is finishing something and then not knowing what happens after that. Like, what are they going to work on next? And I feel like there's a lot of you who, because you don't know what you're going to do next, you like procrastinate finishing the project you're working on because there's this fear. Because, like, for some of you who are writing a book right now, you're writing a book, and when someone say, "Oh, what are you up to?" "Oh, I'm working on this novel." Da, 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 da. You know, "Oh, okay, well, that's great." You know, like you're doing something. Wow, that's. But then if you finish that novel and you don't know what you're doing next, and someone says, "Oh, what are you doing next?" Fuck, I don't know. Trying to, trying to figure out what I'm doing next. That's a terrible place to be in. And the more people who ask you, and because it's the holidays, you're going to see family, you're going to see friends, you're going to see people, and they're going to fucking ask, what is it you're working on? What is it you're doing? And you're going to feel like shit. So, trying to look like from the beginning, what we were talking about, looking at the whole thing you've done, your whole creative journey, and trying to figure out where the next logical step for you to go is, and then to do that thing. So let's see here. At this point, I just want to have a draft of something finished. It's like a bloody unicorn mirage thing at this point. Let's see. Or how the heck do we get through the current madness without losing ourselves? Wine. Yes. I will be the first one to agree. Wine does help, but the problem is that the bottle will empty, and then you either have to have a very supportive husband who will run out and get you another bottle before the liquor store closes, or you're just fucked until the next day. But yes, I understand these things. Coffee is really good too. Even decaf, for fuck's sake. So anyway, what I'm proposing is like kind of like a 3 week crash course kind of thing. And if any of you guys are interested in doing that, go ahead and send me an email, ihatemattwall@gmail.com, and we will talk about it, because I'm doing this thing in a way where it's like discounted. Because normally when I do like an hour with somebody, it costs a certain amount of money, but I'm doing like half off of that stuff to get everybody moving in the right direction. Now, the whip thing sounds interesting. Wine and wine. Yeah. So I could probably do 4 people for this month and moving into the next year. In January, my life is going to get extremely hectic for probably about 3 months. And actually, it might be more than that. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So for me, the things that I have to get done not even by the end of the year, but well, let me throw you guys some deadlines right now. For those of you who don't know already, to be in the Anarchy Crew anthology, and I was even talking to a couple different artists who are in the crew, like painters and illustrators and stuff. If you guys want to send in some artwork for the anthology, that's fine too. So, poems, articles, essays, short stories, section out of the novel you're working on, anything like that. If you want that in the anthology, you have 1 week. So by Sunday the 14th, next Sunday, I need all of those turned in. So whoever's going to be in it, I've already gotten a few submissions from you guys, and they're amazing, and I can't wait for how this is going to turn out. It's going to be great. And we are going to do it as a chapbook. Originally, I was talking about just doing it as a ebook. So what I think I'm going to do is we will make a certain amount of copies of the chapbook, and I'll send you guys all a copy of it too, who put into it. And then once those are gone, I'll turn it into a free PDF that people could download or whatever, just so we know, just so you guys know what's going on with that. Let me see. So that's that. So next week, I have 2 writing projects that need to get done. And so I will tell you guys about it just for the accountability level on it. Seasons of the Muse has to be done. There's not even a I need to commit to how the book looks and just do it. I've been putting so much pressure on myself with, and here's why. When I do my chapbooks, I am in full control of what that looks like, how it turns out, the whole thing. And I could print out a page and look at it and go, okay, this I like, this I like, this I don't, I'm going to change this, blah, 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 blah. When I put out Winter, I was really unhappy with a couple of the things about the book. That when I originally saw the PDF proof, that I'm like, oh, this is okay, this is okay. And then I got the book, like the physical proof, and I didn't love it, but I was like, you know what, I have to get this book out. Like, I'll just put it out, it's fine. The things about the book that I don't like, I think maybe one person said one of the things to me. Like, oh, and for instance, like the font I used for the titles of the poems, when you're looking at it on your computer, it's fine. But when you look at it in the book, because of the font that I use and the size of it in the book, it was, to me, too small and it looked weird. And that has like been such a, that has just pissed me off. That pissed me off, and the gutters pissed me off. And I think the reason being is because originally the book was a different size and it fit the pages better. But then I really wanted it a certain size, which was the 4.5 by 6. No, 4.25 by 6. And I had been putting it off so long and going back and forth that by the time I got it, I was just so glad that it was done that that's what happened. Now, with that said, I wish I would have put like another 1/4 of an inch in the gutters, and that would have made me very happy. I would have been fine with the small font if the gutters were a little bit wider. So with this book, because of how many poems are in this book, the size of the book, not like how many pages, but the actual width and height of the book has changed like 2 or 3 times. And one of the things that I enjoy about a book you can hold in your hand is how comfortable in your hand it feels when you read it. And I have not been able to find, so far with the way the book is, I have not been able to find a size of the book that has everything I need with the amount of poems that I have in it to where it feels good and doesn't feel like you're holding a fucking textbook. Like, whenever I put my stuff out, because I fucked this up with Fingering the Mundane. Fingering the Mundane, if any of you guys have a copy of that, is kind of a big book and it's heavy. And when you're reading it, just holding it is not pleasurable. Okay, now some of you might be going, oh, I love big, huge, giant books that make me feel like I'm going to need carpal tunnel surgery. That's been a thing for me. Now, other little things about this that people don't think about or realize is paperweight is so crucial to that. Because I have books that are bigger books, but they're not heavy because the paper isn't that heavy. You know what I'm saying? The paper's not that thick. So when you're reading it, it doesn't feel like you could club a baby seal with your book. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so all of this being said, I need to just commit and finish it and just go, this is how it's going to go. I'm not going to be going back and forth on this shit anymore. This is it. So that's the first thing. The second thing would also be the chapbooks that are more likely than not going to be 2 now. Last week, that's when we decided that are going to go along with Seasons of the Muse. So that'll be cool. Like, I feel a lot better about that. But then on top of that, the relaunch of Black Star. This is a big fucking deal to me. And it's mainly because I want to have ebook and paperback versions available on Christmas. So like on Christmas Eve, which would be what? A week from Tuesday? Wait, where's my calendar? I just had it up here. A week from Wednesday. I need Black Star #1 to be available in print and in ebook by that day. And again, it's going to be a revised, a re-edited edition, because depending on when you purchased Black Star Canyon in the past, there have been many different edits of that book. And when I was like going through it, I realized, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is just because this was like the first, well, it wasn't the first novel I wrote, but it was the first thing I wrote when I was cranking out stuff. So I didn't have the hang of it like I did by the time I got to like the 5th season of the Black Star books. So the first few books, there's going to be a lot more like going in and checking punctuation and just making sure everything like flows correctly, like any kind of errors or whatever. There was also a formatting thing on, I think, book 5 that I saw that really like set me off, because obviously in the ebook version, like no one would ever see it, because the ebook version, like with your Kindles, it like puts everything where it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be there. But with the print version, it took this section and like had it like way over, and like I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why did that happen? Do you have a chapbook? Do you have your chapbook printing set up back, or are you outsourcing? I have my printer. I do need to order a couple things for it, but the printer's working. The printer's fine. And what I'm going to do... No, you're good. What I am going to do is be working on these books. I really want to go back to doing a chapbook every month, because when I was doing a chapbook every month, that pushed me to do things, and it was good, and I enjoyed that. So I'm going to be going back to doing that, but I'm also going to be doing the Black Star books every month. So Black Star Canyon #1 will come out on Christmas Eve. Black Star Canyon #2 is going to come out on January 1st. And then each book will come out on the 1st of each month after that. So I need to be also setting up like the pre-order pages and all this other shit on Amazon and doing all that. So these are the things that I need to do and get done. And that is just for my writing. The chapbooks... No, dude, I've really missed doing the chapbooks too. And it's just crazy, because when I think about how long it's been since I was on a monthly release schedule, it's fucking crazy. Because, like, I can't remember how many chapbooks I published this year. I think... it's probably been a little over a year, but I published 2 chapbooks, 1 digital, 1 in print this year, and then the 2 anthologies, and then I did one issue of the Blood Rag this year. So as far as like publishing goes, like I did some stuff, and then I also put up some older chapbooks in digital form on Amazon. So I have totally deprived. But the thing is, I didn't have a way to do it for a while. My printer wasn't working for a while. Then by the time I got it fixed, I had my printer in storage. And then I got my printer back. I don't know, how long ago was that? Maybe a month ago, I got my printer back. And for a couple weeks, the printer just was not printing properly. So I've had to I obviously did the new inks, cleaning the heads, doing all the shit. But I've also just kind of left my printer on and not turned it off because I feel like when my printer is turned off, it takes a long time to get the ink warm. I don't know how printers work, but that's what I feel like. At least you got plenty to write about now. You would think. So anyway, so back to this, deadlines. The 14th, Anarchy Crew needs to have their stuff out. And then by the time everyone sends me their things, I will hopefully have that book printed, mailed out, and everything to everyone so you guys get it before Christmas. So if we have everything turned in by the 14th, I can have it up on the shop like probably by the next weekend, but I'll try to have contributor copies mailed out by the 19th, which is Friday. So 14th, 19th, 24th, and 1st. Those are the deadlines I have for just like Poetic Anarchy Press, for just writing. So that's going to be fun. So back to the like this little Christmas deal. If you need help putting your stuff together, if you need help coaching you through the stuff, just telling you what a badass you are and the things you need to do, and just like clapping and cheering for you while you're doing it. If you need to have somebody with you while you do these things, send me an email, ihatemountwall@gmail.com, and we will put it together and do that. If it saves on postage, you could pop mine in with the Seasons and Magpie when you ship it. I am definitely going to do that. Because you're going to have a ton of things in that box. Like you're going to have the painting, Seasons, the chapbooks, winter. There's a lot of things that are going to be in that box for you. Whew. So yeah, presuming I get in on the chapbook. You are going to get in on the chapbook. Don't give me that crap. Of course you're going to get in on the chapbook. All right. So do you guys have any questions about anything? Do you have any questions about how to do things for yourself? Do you have any questions about the coaching? Do you have any questions for me about any of the things that I'm talking about, or just setting deadlines, anything like that? Let's see. The other things that are going on, I was trying to figure out how to do my show. And just so you guys know, the show's called Life Through Chaos. And what is that? And I was talking to another artist I know, awesome fucker, and we were talking about, because I was getting really worried about how many pieces I was putting in the show and how to set the room up and how to do it. And I'm sitting here thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, well, like gallery shows have to look like this and gallery shows have to look like this and they have to be like this and all this other stuff. And I hear like people in the art world talk about like what a gallery show should look like and all this stuff. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there who could should you to fucking death, right? And I was just like really thinking about it. And he's just like, well, you know, the show's called like Life Through Chaos. So why don't you just, like, it's baked into the name, just make the show very chaotic. Like, make the experience of experiencing the art very, very chaotic. And I was just, and it was so one of those like moments, and we all have these moments where like we make a situation way harder than it needs to be. And then somebody points out the most obvious fucking thing in the world. And it's just like, and you're like, whoa, like, how did I miss that? You know, but this is why we have community. This is why we have these other creative people around us to be able to point these fucking things out to us. So we know that we are kind of nuts and we need the help. So with that said, I was really worried about how many, oh, Mindy, hey, what's going on? I was really worried about how many pieces I was going to have in the show and how they were going to look. And he was just like, you know, turn the gallery into the concept. Like, make that gallery space like a part. He didn't say it like this, but this is what he was like meaning. Turn that gallery space into a piece of your art. Like, make the whole thing be that thing. And so now I'm having like bonkers ideas, and I probably need someone to reel me back. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm just going to go in there with like spray paint and like hose with paint and just like splatter the hell out of the entire place and put my art up. Probably shouldn't do that, but that's kind of where my mind started going. But yeah, so, and then just like the way to hang the paintings, like, it's not like I'm going to put them on their side or anything like that, but like certain clusters, like just the idea, like it opened up to me as soon as I stopped trying to think of what people should expect when they go into a gallery. Like what people are going to want to see, what they're accustomed to seeing. As soon as I got rid of that and I was just like, oh wait, no, this is my show. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Then it was just like, boom. And it just like the whole thing kind of blew up in my head. Like all of these things I could do. Yeah, totally. The gallery can be a window into your mind. Totally. And I have known that. I've been to tons of shows, so like I know what can happen when you go to these things. But it was like, I don't know. Because like I know you guys go through this too. You guys, we all do it. We stifle our creativity based on what we think people's expectations for what our work should be will be. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we always need to step back. And I think for the most part, I've been really good at hearing that in different walks of things that I've done. So in music, I've been really fine about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. When I was making movies more, oh yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Writing poetry, doing the serialized novels, like all that stuff. Like I was very good at being able to not worry about what people's expectations were. But doing these like art shows, because this is a newer thing for me in the sense that I've never had a solo show. I've been a part of group shows, but like probably only one in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So this is like all a really new and different like experience for me. So just understanding that like a window into your mind, or that my vision is what this whole thing's about in the first place, was such a relief. The second I stopped thinking about what people expect this thing to be and just was like, well, what do I want it to be? Like, that was such a huge weight off my shoulders. Huge weight off my shoulders. Whew. That's fun, right? So there's that. So that's happening in January. The mentorship program I got accepted into starts January 3rd. And that, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know there's only going to be, and I'm sure hundreds and hundreds of people applied to this thing, but only like three to five people get accepted. And for those of you who've been around for a while, I have applied to this program before and did not get in. So the fact that I made it in this time, I'm over the moon and very, very excited. And I don't really know a lot of what to tell you about, and I will be telling you a lot more about it in January for sure when it starts. But it's just being at a completely different level. And there is also a sense of, I guess, validation you get when you do get accepted into something. So just the idea of being along with these other artists and working with people is fucking crazy. And it's really making me want to dive in to the next series of works I'm going to be doing. So there's that. As far as Black Star, the series goes, this is something that I will be talking to my members a lot more about, probably this week, because I'm at a shit or get off the pot moment. And I'm honestly really scared, because there is a part of me that thinks I am going to fuck this up. And not for the reasons why you probably think. The amount of money that is being talked about for this is, I mean, it's life-changing for me, okay? But in order to do that, there are a lot of things I have to give up. And I go back and forth with this constantly. And it's like, yeah, if I give up all these rights, like my life will be better. I will be doing more. I will be getting paid a ridiculous amount of money for me, and it will feel very good. And I will have a lot more clout to be able to do the things that I want to do. But I also know that I'm giving up a lot that a lot of other people who are in a similar situation to me would not have to give up. So it's like, do I trust that I don't take this deal and another deal will be there in a month or two with a different group that will give me probably more for taking less? Is that something I should do? Or do I take this deal knowing that I'm not comfortable with it because the money and the I don't know the word, it'll just be happening faster. And I realize that I am very capable of creating another series. I have other like book series that I've written that I would love to make a show out of. Or and even ones that I never like wrote the books for and I just have outlined ready to go. Like Black Star isn't the end all be all, but it is the project of mine that I have spent the most time with and am the most attached to. So you guys have no idea the struggle that I have with this, but I need to make a decision. And it is really hard because I'm not going to lie, I have changed my mind probably 12 times today of what I was going to do. And that doesn't count yesterday. Yesterday it was probably like 20 or 30 times that I was like, oh, I'm going to do, nope, I'm not. Nope, I'm not. I don't think I've ever been this wishy-washy on any project I've ever worked on in my life. And one of the main reasons is because like I've been fucked by so many companies before. I've written and signed so many contracts that like people talk about back end, like how much percentage you make on a back end net profit deal. And just for those of you who know, 90% of your net profit back end deals, you will never, ever, ever see a dime from that ever. So just know that. Just know that like if you are signing a contract and you are happy with all the terms in it, but like your net back end is only like 3%, but you were really pushing for 5%, it doesn't matter. You're never going to see any of those things. So that's not ever something that you should check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys could see this. Oh, I just fucking dropped it. Damn it. Cactus spikes, cactus needles. They just get in and they're everywhere. You walk outside, gets on your shoe, gets on the carpet. You put your hoodie on the floor or whatever, and then it comes up on your hoodie, and then they're everywhere. But anyway, so I'm not arguing about back end right now, by the way. I've been down that road enough. I am a back end billionaire. If all of the things I worked on and the people who actually were supposed to pay me back end actually paid me back end, I would be probably living in Tahiti right now, just like drinking Mai Tais all day. But anyway, so it's not the back end stuff that I'm worried about on this project as much as it is the rights I'm signing away. And there are some things about it that are good, and I should probably just focus on those. But I don't know. I don't know. So, do you guys have any questions about anything while we are talking like this? Because I think I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee real quick. Okay, so where is that? Is it this one right here? Let me see. Yes, I did it right. Okay, I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, guys, we are going for a stroll. And then I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then we will call it a day and make a plan. All right? So, here we are. And you guys have to tell me if you see a bobcat behind me, because there was a bobcat out here yesterday and it got very close. Will the writing Zooms be resurrected too? Yes, and that's something else that we should probably talk about right now as well. There are going to be a few membership changes here. And how that's going to work is there are going to be 2 new tiers that I'm making in the membership thing. So obviously, like the chapbook of the month stuff is coming back, and that's going to be a thing. But there's also going to be let me see, if you are okay, so to answer that question, you are correct. I probably should, but every single thing that is ever going to be a thing is negotiable. And when you are doing the negotiating bits, there is give and take. And so that's where a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the stalling comes from, because for the most part, the things in this deal are probably better than things I would get in other deals, but there's a lot of ambiguous speak. And so that's the stuff that kind of freaks me out a little bit. So just trying to get to the point to where the contract is in a place where I'm totally 100% comfortable with it is like what we all want to have happen. But with most contracts, people sign or that you guys are going to sign, we're probably never going to be 100% happy with any contract, because it's parties agreeing on things. And so the give and take is there. But there are a lot of things in the contract that are things that I probably wouldn't get in other places. So there is things that I am very thrilled about, but not over the moon about. But at the end of the day, I should probably just get the thing made so I can make something else later, you know? So yeah, so there's going to be a more entry level membership tier. And oh, all caps. Thank you. So let's see. Oh, my doctor knows. My doctor knows. But I'm doing very good. I'm doing very good. I still haven't vaped since then, which is huge. But yeah. So where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So there's going to be a more entry level base crew tier, and that is going to get basically like one like member stream like a week. Thank you, I appreciate it. Then with everybody else, we'll be doing the same thing. The yeah, very good, very good. But the workshop type stuff, that's gonna just be Anarchy Crew and higher from now on. And the so the chapbook of the month thing is going to be a thing, but then there's also going to be a tier where I make little art pieces as well and send those out to people. And then there's also the mentor tiers that are in there now, if people want to join that instead of just doing like this Christmas coaching thing. It is less expensive to just join the mentorship coaching tiers that are in the YouTube thing, but just pushing more towards that is kind of what it's going to be like. So there's going to be the chapbook of the month thing, that's fine. And then the next tier up will be like a postcard sized original artwork. And then there'll be a tier that where you can get the chapbook and the art piece together kind of thing. And then you'll have the mentorship tiers and stuff in there. So that's how those are going to go. The Anarchy Crew stuff, I want to do a writing Zoom every week, or at least a writing video with prompts where if you guys can't come to the thing, there'll be at least a video there where you can watch it back and then write along with it. So that'll be cool. But as soon as I get a better setup for like my art as well, we'll be doing paint nights and shit like that too. So that'll be a lot of fun. And once I'm in the new place, because the new place is going to have a dedicated room for all of this stuff, a lot of like whether it's painting or writing, there'll be that like almost every day. Like whenever I'm in the studio, I'll for a period of time each day I'm in the studio, I'll have members streams going. So so that'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully it'll be something that is inspiring to you guys and motivates you guys to do stuff. Have you got your new place lined up? No, of course not. But I have a little over a month to get that new place. So I've gone looking at a few places. But another thing that's happening, oh, I can't actually talk about that yet. I can't talk about that. But the place that I'm going to be moving into has to be bigger than the places I've been looking at. Something has come up, and so now it's like the thing has changed a little bit. So there is that. But making at least Anarchy Crew stuff a bigger focus of my daily work routine is what next year is all about. So that's going to be a lot of fun because, like me and Bunny were just talking about, iron sharpens iron, you know. And as much as a lot of you think that you don't want to bother me with things because I'm doing all of these things, and like, why should you bother me with your like artistic struggles or whatever? I get motivated by you guys doing things too. Like, it's not a totally like one-sided thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like a lot of the stuff I was writing, this all sounds great. Good luck with the house, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But a lot of this stuff that over the last like year or two that I've written that I've been really proud about, I wrote in our writing Zooms. Like, I really, really loved a lot of the stuff that came out of those just sprints that we were doing. So that was very crucial for me. And so hopefully you guys got a lot out of that and got a lot of work that you feel comfortable sending out into the world. But there's a lot of things too that next year is going to bring, whether it's filming Black Star. There's a feature film that I want to do that, if I can get the financing for before the big Black Star stuff starts, that would be great. But there's also a possibility of a kind of modern day Western kind of feel film that I wrote a screenplay for probably like 15 years ago that I honestly never thought anything would ever come from again. But something popped its head up about maybe working on that. So that would be really cool. And like getting back to LA, being able to have meetings, go to meetings, do pitches, do all this stuff all the time makes all of that a lot easier. I find the routine of having something to show up to really helps my productivity, and the Zooms were a big part of that. Yeah, I do too. And I think one of the problems, and this is just a scheduling problem, but because there are like people in the crew from all over the world, like it's hard to find a time to where we all can do stuff. And a lot of and I honestly think it was just I don't think we need to do that. Although I enjoy spending time with you guys when we have done that in the past. I get a little bummed out when like everyone's coming for a few weeks and then people's schedules change, and then like people there were a couple times when like nobody showed up to a Zoom, and I'm just like, okay, well, screw it, like I won't do these anymore. Like if no one else is going to come, like I'm not going to do it. And but I think the answer to that is to just record the video, even if it's just me doing it, and then posting that with the time periods and all the stuff and the prompts, and then you guys can just do it on your own time. So I found the lives you were doing for your novel while they weren't in my time zone. I got something out of rewatching and writing along. Yeah, and finishing that novel like would be amazing. Like I would really like to do that. Um, the funny thing about that novel, though, is that most of the fiction that I've written has been stuff that I knew would be ongoing. So I always knew, like, I will finish this and then this will be done, and then the next book will be done by this date, and the next book will be done by this date, and blah, 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 blah. And that novel being like kind of almost like a standalone thing, like, there's definitely things I could do after doing that. But doing like a standalone novel is so not something I do or have done. So that's really kind of wild for me. Yes, recording the Zooms is very helpful, as I often can't watch at the time you're doing it. Yeah. So doing it like that would probably be something that I'm going to be doing a lot more of in the future, especially since you guys say that you enjoy it. So that's definitely in the books. All right. So, yeah, so if anybody wants to do the Christmas coaching special, send me an email at ihatemattwall@gmail.com, and we will get that going. The new tiers, I should probably just put those up today. They're going to be ready for January, but that's what's going on. You could always record a video and stream that in a Zoom too, perhaps. Yeah, because most of the Zooms, even when I was doing the Zooms, I was recording them as well to then put the video up after the recording. So yeah, that's not difficult to do at all. And just another random thought. This channel that you guys are watching right now started out um, almost 10 years ago as a booktube channel. And I think one of the things that, if you're a writer, that booktube, if you're doing the videos, if you're making the videos, really helps with is you having to articulate what you like about something and what you don't like about something, and then be able to share that. And the reason why that's helpful for a writer is because it will kind of instill in you the things that you do like about stories and the things you don't like about stories. Because a lot of times, and this is very, very true with like going to galleries and like looking at paintings and shit and going to museums, like you go and you tend to spend a lot of time looking at the things that you love, and you can just sit there and stare at a painting like all day, like, and just love that painting. But there's a lot of times that we don't spend time like writing down or doing a video or whatever talking about why we like that painting, which is something we should all do. But when you do see a painting that doesn't speak to you and doesn't jump out to you, you should also take the time to like give that painting you don't like as much time, but explain to yourself why that painting isn't working for you, what you don't like about that painting. So whether it's like music you listen to, movies you watch, paintings you look at, or books you read, make sure you spend the time, because this is only going to help you be a better you. Take the time to explain to yourself what you love about something. But even when you see things you don't or read things you don't, explain what about that you don't like. Okay. So I guess the only like homework you guys have this week is whatever art you consume in whatever medium, even if you just write down the things you like about it, how it makes you feel, like what about it makes you love that thing. But if it's something you don't like, spend that same amount of time explaining why you don't like it, you know. Murphy Napier did a Dear Authors series that I found so helpful as a writer. It's readers discussing what they love and what they don't. Good market research. Yeah, totally. And it's good market research from a small pool. But for you personally to do that same thing is very, very important for you as a creator of any kind. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, definitely jump on those things. Do that. We will, for members, we will be live tomorrow morning. And hopefully, I will have some videos. I have a list of videos that I want to make. It's just being able to find a time to record them. Doing the live streams is way easier because I could just like hit stream and just come and bleh and then walk off, and I don't have to worry about editing or thumbnails or doing any of that stuff. Not that I worried about thumbnails a lot before. I've definitely noticed patterns in what I do and don't like. I'm going to explore that this week. Good, good, good. And honestly, try to get some deadlines down. Take whatever big project you're working on and like make it really tangible. So if you're writing a novel, instead of saying I have to have this novel done this week, say today I have to write a paragraph, or today I have to write a page. Like whatever it is, make it attainable and do that. If any of you have a work that you've finished or is finished to what you think is good, even if you don't think it's good, take this week to go over that and figure out like how you're going to finish it, how you're going to put it out, what you're going to do with it. If you're working on a painting right now, decide if this week is the week it's done. If you're like, I just want to work on a little bit more, give yourself a deadline. This has to be done by tomorrow at midnight. Just give yourself a deadline to get something done so you feel like you have a mark on the scoreboard for this year, you know? Because this year was an insane year. Like I don't know. I mean, I finished, I actually finished a lot of paintings this year. I'm going to guess, I'd have to kind of write stuff down, but probably close to 80 to 100 paintings. And I know that's a big number, 20 being in the middle of that, but there were a lot of, like I finished the Mad World series this year. I did the black sand paintings. I did the forest through the trees paintings, the trees through the forest paintings, and then started the attention paintings. And I'm almost done with those ones that I was working on. So that was another 10. But along with that, there were a bunch of other paintings I did where I was experimenting with different things. Like I did a lot with pumice gel. I did a lot with what else was I painting a lot of? Oh, I was doing a lot of painting with inks and alcohols. Yeah, and I did the eye paintings. Um, I started the new website. I actually got a lot done this year, but it doesn't feel as maybe next week I'll do a everything that I got done this year video because I feel like this year I probably did less than I've done in a long time. Although probably 2024 I did less than this year. That's probably a very true statement. That's okay. I started the novel. Well, no, actually, I started the novel in 2024, but I only got a couple chapters in. So that's okay. I probably got another 20,000 words in the novel this year. So that's good. Wrote a couple screenplays this year. So yeah, we're getting stuff done, guys. So yeah, and I also no, I'm not going to put a new chapbook out for December. I'll save that for January. I'll make the my personal chapbooks be the season's chapbooks for this month. So that'll be fine. We'll do that. All right, cool. So everything's fine. So yeah, so again, go over to let me see. There we go. Go over to mattwallart.com to take a look at my paintings and my chapbooks. Oh, I will say this. If we look at these, let's look at the chapbooks real quick. So these are the chapbooks that I have left, and then whatever these ones are. Yeah, so these are the ones I have left. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to vaulting chapbooks that seemed to work better from a sales perspective. And what I mean by vaulting is that I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a period where I had like a new chapbook, whether it was in print or digital, and then one of my old ones. And I only had, you could only get one a month. And then each month I would take one away and put a new one up. I think I was doing one poetry and one prose when I was doing that. But I think I'm going to go back to just one at a time. So right now, these are all up there, but before the end of the month, I'm going to be going back to just one at a time. So if there's any chapbook that you guys wanted to grab that you haven't grabbed yet, you need to grab before I take all these down. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, so that's another little fun thing I'm going to be doing. Not that like everyone loves when I do that, but I think for me, like pushing a book is easier when I'm only pushing one book. And I'm like, hey guys, this is the book, and I'll read a little bit out of it and talk to you guys about it and whatever. So that seems to work a little bit better. And since they're like kind of like limited run collector's item kind of thing. I think that works better. And then the thing I'm going to be doing on Amazon with my poetry is putting together bigger collections and putting those out through there. It puts a sense of urgency on the purchase. Yeah, totally. So, yeah. So, scroll through, see what you like. I have a couple of chapbooks ready to go for next year already. So, pretty excited about that. But yeah, so if you guys want to do the Christmas coaching special thing, discounted, me working with you on your stuff and help building the foundations of the career you're going to do, drop me a line at ihatemattwall@gmail.com. Again, go to mattwallart.com to look at my paintings and look at my books. Type hard, everybody. Join the crew down below. And the new crew tiers will be available very shortly. Hopefully today. I mean, it'll be before the end of the month, but the new tiers will be there soon. Okay? So, love you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well. And get me your pieces for the anthology by next Sunday. Okay? So I'll talk to you guys later.